All right, guys, so I'm back here. And now what you're going to do is that you're going to open up the DT cards. And for actually all the cards here, I'm not sure if I can do a mass assignment. What I can probably do here is that the default value, I'm going to select a WB card and save. Now, this is going to do that thing again, so I'm just going to save it because it doesn't have any reference anywhere else. So that's we are safe with this. Oh, this is very annoying, by the way. Let me just change this. Every time you start the engine, I wanna open the arena. So I'm gonna go back here to my project settings. I'm gonna search here for level and or quality. What is it? Maybe map or the project settings or project plugins. No, project settings. Level or well, the best way to search for this is go open. There we go. It's called editor startup map. I just want to make sure that we put this to just so when you start the engine, it open up on the right level for us. I don't have to keep opening this thing all over again. Okay, let's go back to the game mode. Here, let's go back to the widgets, and now we have the base card. Now you're probably asking, okay, but now why do I need a legacy card? Okay, so legacy card will be everything that we add on this first release. And then let's say that you create expansion pack called, let's say, Masters of Sword. And then you want to add this custom UI where you add like some material effects, your skills get better with design and you create a nice card. Or maybe even if you want to add a legendary card, right? We can do that. But first of all, what I am going to do is I'm going to go back to the legacy card. First of all, I'm going to copy that legacy card. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go back to the widget blueprint and I'm going to search for, I'm going to create a new widget blueprint called card legacy. Open up the legacy one, guys. And now in here on the graph, you're going to go to class settings and in here you can select the parent WBP card. All right. This is something that I already did in a couple of videos ago, but anyway, we got the card here. So you got here the legacy card. Now, problem with this, it doesn't give us a lot of flexibility to change the UI. So how can we overcome this, right? So to overcome this, I'm gonna copy this stuff here, copy. First of all, before I copying, I'm gonna just go back to event graph, right? This is fine. I don't want this to be changed. All these things here that will need to be added into a function. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click here. Okay. I'm going to select all those nodes, every single one, but not the API. Right click, collapse to a function. And this function is going to be called fn load card style. All right, plug all the card style right here, which is perfect for us. And we're gonna plug it, gonna leave it right there. Compile and save. Nice. Now let's create here the proper categories. So let's put this inside card. So this is gonna be card and also card, and the canvas we're gonna put in card. Right. Now all this stuff here, if you want, we can put inside UI, but we're gonna do a couple of different changes on this. Now everything should still work, right? Don't worry, is everything fine? Still working. But now where's things gonna break a little bit? And I want you to pay attention to what I'm doing here because it's gonna break a little bit. So we are gonna copy this whole structure and we're gonna press delete. And here's gonna complain and gonna throw an error. It's gonna be a mess. But before we do anything else, we're gonna go back here and we're gonna we're gonna compile and save. That's fine. And we're gonna paste this right here. So it has exactly the same layout UI that we added, nothing different. Now here you're gonna say, okay, card description, all this stuff, all these things are missing. Oh my gosh, whatever. So what I like to do here right now is that because I'm being a little bit, let's say, not lazy, but like I want to just do this quickly. I'm gonna copy this. And I'm going to delete And here I'm gonna do return, right? It's gonna return the data when you load the card style. Now, what happened is that on the card legacy here, I'm gonna go back here to the graph, okay? And I'm gonna go back to the functions, and I'm gonna override the fn load card style, and I'm gonna paste all this stuff here, right? And I'm gonna plug it this right there, and I'm gonna compile and save, compile and save. Now we shouldn't have any errors. Now we do have one error here, which basically is saying on hover that we need to on hover. It's trying to animate a non-existing. Okay, that's fine, because what's happening here is that it's trying to basically animate, get this animation that we did here. Like we don't have this animation anymore, hover, right? So what happened now is that we're gonna have to delete this. Okay, I'm gonna compile and save. Now it's gonna throw errors and stuff. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But what I'm gonna do here is that I am gonna basically, well, I wonder if I can do something maybe like this. I'm gonna try, instead of trying to be very specific, I would like to do something very, let's say, can I create a new animation? I don't think I can actually do it here because I don't have anything to animate to. Well, anyway, what we can do here is that this part is fine. We do not care about this, but what we care is that we're gonna collapse this to a function called fn on mouse enter hover, right? And here we're gonna right click. We're gonna go back here and collapse to a function called fn on mouse leave hover. All right. Now this is gonna throw error, but that's fine. We don't care about this error right now. All we can now is to open up this, and we're just gonna call the return. It's because I don't want to lose this access here. And the same for the leave one. We want to call the return. Okay. Nice. Now all this stuff is being handled by the parent. Everything is great. Now let's go back here. Let's create that animation quickly, right? The animation that we want to do here is we have all the graph, the designer, the animations. I was thinking, no, you can't select animation because, I mean, maybe you'll be able to create here on hover, right? And right now it doesn't do anything, but maybe we can override this animation. No, you can't. Okay, that's fine. I was trying to be clever, but unfortunately, I'm not that clever. Let's just add a animation here. So let's just do on hover. And then we're just gonna do that thing we did previously, which is that we're gonna click on the size box. We're gonna right click, we're gonna edit. And then what we would like to do here on the size box, is the transform. So we're gonna basically add here translate, and around 0.5 we just add the translation to minus, let's say, I think it was 50, I'm not sure. Very subtle, you know, or maybe 10, I'm not sure. Let's compile and save this stuff. Now, open up here our graph, right? We're gonna override two new functions here. The first one is the fn mouse enter, and another one is the fn on mouse leave. Now all you gotta do, guys, is literally come here, copy the on mouse leave one. So I'm just gonna go back here and paste it, plug it right there, right? Compile and save. Now on the mouse enter, we do the same. Copy this, delete it from the parent, and add it on the child. On the child here. Now, I know what you're probably guys gonna say, that it may be lost a little bit. Why do we have to do all this stuff? The reason is this gives us so much control over the card that it's unbelievable. Like, we have so much control over this card now. We can do whatever we want, and everything stays inside here, as long as we call what we call the, you know, just this normal functions here, right? Because right now on the parent, we don't need to worry about loading the styles anymore. We don't need to worry about this stuff anymore. We don't need to worry about the Z index, you know. Now, if you press play, you're probably gonna notice that you don't have a card. That's fine. That's because now we need to open up here, Control P, our DT cards, right? And we're gonna have to change a couple of things. But first of all, let's make sure that all those cards are assigned to the legacy one. Now, the next step that we gotta do here is that when you add a card to the widget, you need to know what is the widget class. And we can do that on the main widget. I know that sentence look a little bit confusing, but let's go step by step. So now the problem is that if you press play, nothing gonna happen because you're not telling the engine what is the class that you want to load the card from, right? So what's the class you want to load the card from? I'm not sure, but now we can actually do this. Now, so we're gonna go back to the event graph. And if you guys remember, we have a function called fn add a new card. Here's actually where we create the widget, but now we are hard coding the class. So now what I can do is just break this, and I can basically pass the widget class, and I can refresh. And if we did everything right, which I believe we did, look at that. Everything is working the way it was before. The cool thing about this, guys, and I want to show you how nice this is. And you're probably asking, but why do I have to do all this stuff? I don't understand it. Now look at this. I can duplicate this. I'm going to call this Legacy Master or something. You know, like a nice name, like a cool name. Imagine that you want now to create a totally different design. So what I'm going to do here, because I don't have a nice design, I'm just going to make sure everything's black, right? Black or red color or something, all right? Now I'm going to compile and save. And what I'm going to do here is that maybe for the fireball, I'm going to add this awful card. But I just want to explain how it works, right? Look at that. So if I keep adding, you probably can see that. I just want to see if the card adds. Look at this, a different card, and it works in a different way. It doesn't, you know, it has the same things, but it has a different color, it has a different style, and you can do whatever you want with that. So that's just so now we have full control of the card, and we don't need now to worry about what happens if in the future I decide to, I don't know, create some premium card or something, you know? I don't need to worry about that anymore because everything it's already done for me. I think that's everything I would like to cover for this part of the series. The next one, what I would like to do, guys, is to start to scope out our UI, okay? Maybe our health markers there, our current turn or something like this. I'm not entirely sure. Once again, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I see you in the next one. Hi guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm, and today we carry on our exciting series. And what we did in the last episode, if you guys remember, is that we have done the drag and drop. Let me just open up here the right level. And what I would like here to do today is to prepare ourselves for the future. And what I mean is that what happens if in the future you want to add a card that has a completely different design from everything else. All right, so let's get this thing started. So the first thing I would like to do here today is that I'm going to go back here to the game. I'm going to go back here to the widget. By the way, I'm going to move these variables. So I'm going to put all this stuff inside here, and I'm going to move it in the TCG folder here, just because I do not want these things to be here, right? Now I'm going to create a new folder called card types, all right? Now I'm going to move this card here. Now I'm going to create one called legacy, which is basically what, let's say, Hearthstone does. Hearthstone has the legacy cards, but then it creates all the cards on top of it, right? So now the first thing we need to do is that on the SD card, I'm going to add a new variable, and I'm going to call here the widget class. So what widget class do you belong to? And this is going to be the WBP card. All right. This is going to be the class reference. Make sure you add the class reference to that. Now that's everything we got to do. All right. Now, the only thing I would do here is I'm going to close the engine, because remember, every time you work with data tables, that you can see the star here, I'm not going to save anything, because if I save it, I had this thing in the past where every video probably mentioned this, is that Unreal Engine has this weird issue where it lost references and then it gets a pain ass. And I don't have GitHub set up here yet, so I can't track my changes and revert this. So I'm just gonna do not save. And then once this is up and running, I'll resume the video.